Hey everyone, this is Cindy. This is an open door. It's February 6th. This is the hour we call Sharing the Word. We're currently working with um, the guides through Paul Selig. The book is Resurrection, and as is our habit, we've been beginning with a clip from the guides, and I have that set up, and we'll play it, and then I'll hand things over to Sandra. So let's do this thing.
Your comprehension of being the one manifesting your reality, while accurate in some ways, is still predicated on your idea of what can be imagined or even limited by the parameters that you offer yourselves as creators. Now, when you understand that in the upper room there is still the act of creation that you are party to, but you are no longer creating from the adhered to list, the old ways of deciding what can be, you begin, underline begin, to access potential beyond what you have thought could be so thus far. Thought could be so, a phrase we rarely use, because indeed what you think can be so, you can align to as potential, and nothing is claimed in manifestation until it is first realized as possibility. Agreement or vibrational accord to what is not yet known, what is not yet seen, what has not yet been named, must be understood as moving to a level of tone where you align to what is present, not to what you demand, what can be known, not what has been known, what will be known, not what you decide is a potential that you can attach to and have outcome with. Understand this. You are standing as if in a wind, and the wind is experienced and felt as you stand in the wind. You understand the direction of the wind from where you experience the wind upon your frame. You feel what is carried upon the wind as you see it pass by you or as it encounters you in form. You understand the feeling of the wind experientially, and if there is a scent that the wind is carrying, you will know the scent through the experience of smell, not through deciding this is a cinnamon wind, this is a cold breeze. The experience of the wind claims itself, and if you wish then to give it a name, you may do so, but in likelihood the name you would be giving it would be played out from the lower fields list of potentials. Cinnamon is a specific smell, yes, but there are other smells and other things to see that may not be what they first appear as. You understand that the choices you have made thus far have called you to this moment, and this moment which we spoke of as the end of the tapestry that you have been walking upon, the woven experience of the identity you have utilized experientially in encounters with others. You may understand that where you stand now is indeed beyond, and the shifting that you are doing is not occurring in a linear fashion, perhaps not 1 foot before the next, but perhaps one level of gradation that you encounter and then the next, not always in a sequence that makes sense, but in sequence perhaps that is required. One moment the wind appears to be coming to you from the front, and perhaps you have turned or the wind has changed, but now you feel it pressing you from behind and moving you forward in its action. The action of the divine upon you each is present now. Know it or not, concede to it or not, it is occurring. And the action of the divine upon the manifest plane that you share is present now, and how you perceive it in some ways will be in the equivalency to what you can allow. To decide that what you see is horrific and to know what you see is wrong can support the reclamation of a higher choice perhaps, but to understand that the process of living a life includes encounters with things that are not always pleasant to see or experience can support you in understanding that you are moving through experience here, and that the experiences that you are moving through are participatory to the act of reclamation that humanity is undergoing. The transition that the species is making from one octave of vibration to another holds within it a great promise. I am knowing who I am beyond the old idea of what I thought I could be, what might be so. And the claim, behold, I make all things new, it will be so, is the realization of the transformation, the outcome being the agreement to source. God is, God is, God is. Now, the word God has been discussed in length in these teachings, but we will say this to the student who still resists the word. The word agreement has been tempered through the usage that it has been given, and the usage that it has been given through religions over time has codified it and claimed it in some ways that are detrimental to your comprehension. The idea of reclamation of the word itself simply as symbol is useful now, because at least it gives you a place to stand that you can leap from. I am in God, I am of God, I am with God, beyond the old ways of defining God or self-identifying a relationship with God through one system of organized practice or another. To allow God to be the wind that comes for you and from behind you, to allow God to be what supports you in the changes you required, is in some ways to acquiesce or surrender to Source, but in a way that is participatory. You are in the wind and you are of the wind, but you are still operating as one who chooses how she navigates this encounter. The encounter is with the unknown, yes, and also with your idea of fate, or what may be presented to you that you might not have thought could be, but suddenly here it is. Our assignment with you, and we will use that term intentionally, is to support you not only in your awareness of what is true, underline is, and what is true is always true, but how the manifestation of the monad comes into expression as, with, and through you. And the manifestation of the monad as, with, and through you has been this instruction since the very first text that we authored. I am word, the action of the Creator through my body. I am word, the action of the Creator through my vibration. I am word through my knowing of myself, my identification with the divine as who and what I am. I realize who I am. I realize what I am. I realize how I serve. and the equivalency that these claims carry you in are in gradation in support of your ability to align to them and grow with and through them.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you. I don't think Cindy's staying with us, but we'd love if you want to. Hope you have a great day, Cindy.
Love you all. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
Amy has an appointment this morning, so I'm facilitating our meeting. And we usually start to see with, does anyone have any comments about the video we just saw? Okay, is there anyone who would like to read? William. Good morning, William.
Good morning. Wow. I just love a couple things here. First of all, I love being here with all of you. Being here now. So simple, now with you. But I watched that panache yesterday, and I just had such a nice feeling. It was a knowing, a feeling. And then listening to Paul this morning, where I'm walking in space all over, one step and then another dimension, another level, back, winds everywhere. Nothing has to be the way it was. It's all now, and never know which the next step and the next and the next. And I just feel, wow, I just feel myself becoming. No, that's not right. It's just, I feel myself being. And wow, it's like I don't have to be the way I was. It's okay. Everything is okay. It's just nothing has to be the way it just is. It just is. It just is. I tell you, and all my life, I thought I should be a little bit this way, that way, that way. Gradually, I don't really have to change. Not for you and not for me. And just the stillness and the stop, certain word just grabbed me, and I cannot not be in the moment. So thanks. It just, all I got to do is just be here and let you all do the work, because I'm just along for the ride, and I just love it. I don't even feel guilty about that. You know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, apparently, which is nothing. So thank you.
I so relate to what you're saying. I gave up striving. I gave up trying to be something. It just feels so free, and the ease of living comes in. It's like an ease of living without all that striving.
It's like I don't have to taste the
I can let
coffee.
all of you do the work. What actually we can let, what was he saying? The divine acting through us. Just the divine pushing us along like the wind.
Well, actually, it's just like tasting the coffee. I don't have to. I just get to taste it. That's all I need to do.
So is there anyone who would like to help with reading this morning? Or who, maybe I shouldn't use the word would like to. I'll use the word would be willing to.
And Dago has her hand up.
Okay, Nandego, and I think I saw Alka. Okay, who raised their hand first? Do you remember, Rona?
I do not. They can fight it out.
And Dago.
Yeah, and Dago had a hand up
We're
first.
on page 105. And we're at the bottom of the page. It starts with the beauty of your beings. I think that's where we are. And you'll have to unmute Ninjago.
Okay, 105. Hold on. One of five, and it starts with
At the bottom,
the beauty,
the
the beauty of
your
this
beings.
being.
Yeah.
Okay. The beauty of your beings is unbeknownst to any of you. If you could see yourself as we see you, you would weep in joy. We know who you are because you cannot be other. And we sing in your songs for you so that you may learn the words. We are here. We are here. We are here. Please stop. I don't know. Stop, please. Indeed, in the text. Should I continue? I think so, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could just sit for a moment and realize the truth of that, how beautiful we are. If you could see yourselves as we see you, you would weep in joy. We know who you are. I mean, I think that's something that doesn't come easily to all of us. The recognition of our inner beauty. But as we do all these studies with these different teachers, it begins to sink in, doesn't it? A little bit.
I think we start to see it or have glimpses or
Patricia, would you like to add to that?
Yes, I would. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Wonderful to be here and see you all, per usual. We're blessed to have an open door and to be part of a community. Yes, I do have something to say. It's like in the now, in the present moment, my heart is open. And when my heart is open, it's a beautiful thing. When my monkey mind is activated, it's not so pretty. I don't like this neighborhood. I prefer being present in the moment. But I have to remind myself all the time to come back to the moment. Come back to the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. For me, the mind can also contemplate beauty. It's not always. It seems to me that in my experience, that as I accept my inner beauty and know more the truth of who I am, that the mind spends less time in what you call the monkey brain. It spends more time in just tasting and feeling and loving everything around me and enjoying the beauty of this life. And when something that I label ugly appears, I don't know how it happens, but somehow the heart opens to embrace that and to send love to that, because that, I was just remember when we were teachers, we used to get this little booklet, and on the front of it said, "Love me when I'm most unlovable." That's how we were to treat the children. That the ones who were acting most unlovable were the ones who needed you the most love. And that always stayed with me. So I guess that applies to us too. Like if my mind goes to something that, I get the icky feeling or whatever that is, I can love myself more, love myself through it. William, I love your background. Is that a sunrise or a sunset?
You know what? I forgot. I did take it though.
That's beautiful.
And whichever way I want it, I can have it.
Yes.
And I think about the word, the beauty in us. The word that comes to me is just ordinary. Then I see so much beauty in being ordinary. It's so relieved. I don't really have to do anything now. And that is beautiful, or whatever. It just being still and slowing down to not the speed, but the presence of being. That's what it feels like.
Yes. And Dago, would you read another paragraph, please? That was the short one.
Sure. What we ask of you now, if we are allowed to ask, is permission to align you to the next level of vibration that is accessible through your prior work and the attunement done for us thus far. Done thus far. The please of the old has been primary in these teachings, in alignment to a new potential. In the manifestation of the divine, come in them to each of you, is the agreement that has been made to the reader of the text or the student of the work, who has truly said yes at the level of heart, the level of soul, and at the level of expression. What that means is when you have said yes and made an agreement to move beyond the old, you are escorted across a border, not to the upper room, but to the next level of vibration that can be accessed here, also accessed there. This is a border of consciousness. It is less a shift in vibrational field than a reckoning, a true facing of self as what has one been in order to become that one truly is. I'll read that again. That was kind of confusing. It is less a shift in the vibrational field than a reckoning, a true facing of self as what one has been in order to become one, to become what one truly is.
This reminds me of what the guides were saying in the clip we listened to, that we're being shifted and there's a shift occurring. I don't know, did everybody hear? Oh, go ahead, Rana. I see your hand raised.
I'm coming. Didn't want to do that. Okay. Hi. This is exciting to me. Like, I feel excitement. What we ask of you now, if we are allowed to ask, is permission to align you to the next level. And I say, yeah, absolutely. And it kind of like has that sense of Rana, haven't done anything to deserve this, to get this far, to whatever. It's just by being exposed to it. Just the clear pointing that us getting together every week and reading this book and talking about all the things we're talking about, that we're ready. I'm ready to truly face self. And when they talk about seeing the beauty of what we truly are, the mind immediately goes to eyesight, right? And vision. And I think what occurs is the sense of the power that we have to create. That is what is so awesome. That is the beauty. That is the thing that I have missed. This idea that everything I see has been created, manifested, and it's not good or bad. It's just the desire for the experience of it. And now with the reclaiming, I had some opportunity this week to reclaim a couple of times. Somebody showed up in my space that the mind went to a memory, and immediately the sense was, not going there. I'm just going to reclaim this, and there was such a gentleness and a softening there. And just the freedom of not having to live with something that happened over 10 years ago. Ooh, that was pretty cool. Now, I don't want to go out for lunch with this person, but that's okay too, right? I can extend love right from my seat, so that's the kind of experience I'm having. And yes, I give permission. And I like the word border,
Yeah.
It's getting to the edge.
Is that related to the borderland that we read about in the Course in Miracles?
That's the only thing I can feel. You are escorted across a border, not to the upper room, but to the next level, right? When I pause and put my hand on my heart and go to the altar of truth with someone that I'm having a kerfuffle with, something changes and there's a shift right there. It may not be completely and totally wherever. It's where this body can handle the vibration. Like he says at the beginning, may bad paraphrase coming, just as if I'm able to garner for whatever is being offered as much as I can hold,
Yeah.
So
It does seem to be individualized, doesn't it?
we're individual expressions moving through, at a seeming pace, but there's no pace, right?
So if this is like the curriculum, like we were doing a curriculum or the Course in Miracles is a curriculum, even though we're each reading the same words, right here at the same time, we are getting our individual learnings from it. That's what I take out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all for us in whatever measure is necessary for wherever we seem to be at.
And based upon where we were, like the last line that
Yes.
Indigo read twice. I'm glad she read that twice, because that was a complicated sentence. That we have to truly face ourselves in order to become what one truly is. Now, that language sounds like we're not already that, and we know we are. So maybe it's more of a recognition of who we are. Or that's why he used the word reckoning earlier.
Yes.
I do have another question, if you don't mind waiting a moment, William. And this is for anybody who listened to the video from yesterday. Did anybody here listen to that? Is it Panache was his name? I did not understand something. He said there were no levels of vibration, and we keep reading that there are levels of vibration. And I always bought into the whole, what's his name? David Hawkins levels. You know, I read them, I studied them, and it sure feels like there are levels of vibration in my experience. So, but he was saying there are no levels. Did you hear that? Or did I?
Yeah, but I think it's that level confusion thing again. Like ultimately, there are no levels.
Okay. Because
I felt that was the same. Richard is shaking his head, so I'll
I
defer.
think what I understood when they said that was within reality, there are no levels of vibration. There just is. And everything's at the same vibration. But within the illusion of the dream, there are different because we're experiencing different levels within the dream. Right now, we're all experiencing bodies and minds. But there are I believe there are another levels within the experience that the separation that vibrate at different frequencies. I think that's what the guides are talking about. In other words, as a light being, your frequency is much higher than a physical being. So, as you rise in consciousness within the dream, your vibration rises also. But that's only in the dream. When, as the Course says, when God takes the final step, there is only one vibration.
Okay, so we're talking about within the dream, and he was talking about ultimately. When you're
I think so.
Okay.
That's my interpretation.
Because here it says you are escorted across the border, but not to the upper room, but to the next level of vibration. So thank you for that.
I think even the guides are talking about when you're in the upper room, what the Course calls the real world. But there's still one step beyond the real world. You're still in a state of separation from oneness. So God takes the last step, and then everything we think we are disappears. There's only one frequency. There's only one experience. There's no dream anymore. We're not dreaming of being separate selves, learning to raise our frequency, or all that's gone. And there's only oneness.
Now it makes perfect sense. Thank you, Richard.
I'm glad I helped. That's my opinion.
It did help because I was confused by that. Did you have something to add, John? No.
Well, yeah,
Go
to
ahead.
me,
Go
to
ahead.
me, to me, it's all is one, and that's, you know, and where he talks about the form that it's almost like a pit stop. We all take on a form, and then all of a sudden that disappears, and there's the agreement that now we are one, and we're all one. And I think the first phrase of Panache yesterday, we're part of this collective one.
Yes.
That was his big insight. We are all are part of this oneness. And everything I read about here, the next vibration, it's like I'm not in charge. Even this form is just the form that's been conditioned through whatever I'm pretending to be. And then all of a sudden, it's no longer here. And that's my agreement. I'm just part of the oneness. So it's just this almost like paradox back and forth. It's okay. It's just one, just one. Oh, and then I have all these recognitions.
Thank you.
And the part about this that's so scintillating for me is that I'm not even in charge of the form that I have a pit stop in. It's not my pit stop. It's not my form, but there is a form that I take on. And maybe it's a Ferrari this time, and next time it's an old jalopy. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I definitely had an image of a pit stop right there with all the guys running out to fix the tires and work on the car. John, good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, everybody. So great to be here. This is the first time I came on Friday morning. I'm really glad to be here, and because the frequency, the vibration is different, and that's my experience in this suit that I'm wearing. So, I mean, Sandra, when you said "love me when I'm most unlovable," that really, really resonated, because that's Course Miracles, extending love or receiving love, one or the other, but it's all love, and just to have that verbalized in a different format, and like from your teaching experience. It's just another reminder. It's more cement on this foundation there, So thank you for that. My piece that I was just thinking about actually kind of speaks to what Rona was saying, that she was able to face self and face the self in a story and accept faith. So, and that kind of really speaks to me exactly what William's talking about, the oneness is the acceptance. How can, the acceptance of what's coming my way through an unloving child or whatever it might be, my interpretation, just the acceptance. And that kind of speaks to my learning as, when I'm faced with things, and, what the gentleman says, the monad walking through as you walking through life, between you as you and me. Our journeys, my journey, your journey, our journeys seem to be more different. But at the end of the day, when we hear that we're loved and we're, there's a crowd behind us rooting us on, yeah, you go. It's pretty exciting, So anyway, that's my piece. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm confronted with just life and things happening in life and old memories like Rana was talking about, and something happens and like in a split second, there's something in me that gets seduced into old patterns of thinking, and I feel hurt or I feel bereft of something. What I'm finding is I don't have to do a whole lot of practicing. All I have to remember is I am loved. I am loved. I am loved with an everlasting love. And when I really feel that, when I feel that love surround me, it doesn't matter what's going on out there. It's not as important anymore as it used to be. Just feeling that love, and I don't have to get it from somewhere else anymore. It just comes through because I've opened to it. It's like just reminding myself I'm loved. I even hugged myself. Hi, Patricia.
You know, the way I'm understanding this is like different levels of consciousness. 10 years ago, I was in a particular consciousness. That's because of our evolution as a soul. And I'm running around in this Patricia car. And I remember a very dear friend of mine who we were part of the same Buddhist Sangha. And she died. And she used to, when I lived in the States, I had this beautiful lily garden. And she used to love it. And she would work in the garden and help me out. And she just loved it. And when she died, I thought, I wonder if she's going to come back as a lily, just to experience what it's like to be a lily, because she loved lilies so much. And I wouldn't be surprised. And, and I think about animals that I have dearly loved that were under my care. They were my teachers. And I wonder if my wonderful dog, whose name was Pema, I wonder if I will become her at some point. I will join her spirit and whatever form it will take. But it's like love is so big, and it just is expressed in different ways. Just walking around. I mean, Mexico has the most beautiful clouds. And I look at the clouds and I go, wow. And I get this energy flow through my body. I guess the subtle energy, the vibration. And I go, thank you. Thank you. So here we are. And we're all part of it all. But I didn't think that way. My consciousness wasn't there 10 years ago. But it is, and I'm grateful for this. I am joining that now. In the now, in the now, in the now. As my good friend William would say. Thank you.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. When my daughter passed, one of my first images that came to me, she loved flowers. I had this image of her prancing through a beautiful garden with the most amazing flowers. Flowers that don't exist on this dimension, with different colors and it was just such a comforting. When you mentioned your friend in the lilies, it brought that back to me. It was very comforting because she loved flowers. Well, Alka, I think you're up next. And we're on the bottom of page 106. Thank you for reading.
Okay, now I know where we are. Okay. Now, this is not a pleasant experience for the aspect of self that demands things be as they were. And we will say to each of you, if you do not wish to cross this border, you may wait until the time has come when your soul says now, your heart says now, and your expression says it must be so. This is an agreement to a new life, a new way of expressing beyond a system of agreement that has precluded your light from truly shining. To cross this border means to enter into a new way of expressing the self, beyond the field that you have utilized to claim an identity, and beyond the identification through matter that you have used to claim what a reality must be. Each of you says yes to what is before you now. Each of you says yes to what stands in the way and must be moved for this crossing to occur. And the reckoning you may face is to a residual idea that you are not present across the border. And for most, that is what stands in the way of realization. I don't understand this, and the reckoning you may face is to a residual idea that you are not present across the border. What does he mean by that? I don't.
Rana,
I get the sense, why is my video? All right. I get the sense that what that is saying, and I underlined it, is this old idea that we're not already these light, truly beautiful beings that we are, that we're not already across the border. It's just an illusion that we are not across the border. The illusion is the dream that we're these little separate selves claiming identities and expressing self through material and so I think that goes back to what we were talking to before, about the kind of levels of things. What did Panache mean by that other statement? I mean, here it is. It's like, in truth, we are already across that border. But as an illusory self, we don't know that. Thanks.
yes,
Awesome.
okay. Go ahead, William.
I'm still driving the jalopy. There's a Ferrari waiting, but I'm still driving the Ava.
Those jalopies are really in style right now. They're all around my town. What came to me, Alka, was the very first few sentences of the clip we heard today. And I tried to write it down, but I couldn't write that fast. But the guides were saying something like, we have aligned to the parameters of life that we have established right now. Like, we're aligned to those. And in order to move beyond that, we have to see the potentiality, the possibility of life being different than this. We're aligned to what's present now, and we need to let ourselves be moved into imagine a possibility. It's like we're so, even if we say we don't like the way things are, we are really so attached to the current reality. That's what I was hearing. And that when we say yes, we have to be moved to that crossing. The residual idea is the way we think things are. And we don't realize that we're not opening ourselves to a potentially very different way of being. Like seeing the flowers that aren't there right now. There are other flowers, and there's probably something way beyond a Ferrari. But a Ferrari is what we know right now. So that's what I took from this, is that somehow opening beyond the identification that we have used to claim reality now. So what I think is the most magnificent place to live right now, there's something way beyond that I haven't, there's a potential for that. But go ahead.
No, I said that makes a lot of sense. We are really stuck in our narrow world.
We have built structures. There might be invisible structures, but there's structures all around us about the way things are, even the way things should be, that it's hard for us to even imagine beyond that. But we have to say yes to that. It's what the guides are saying. Other people would say, we don't have to say anything. We're just moved along. So, okay, Richard.
Yeah, great stuff. What's coming up for me recently is the whole idea of where we're going with this. I hear from different teachers. I hear from Panache and his great podcast with Next Level I watched yesterday, and also in the recording you played earlier, Cindy played earlier, and this, and what I'm dealing with is, as a human race continues to evolve or increase or move to the next level, whatever you want to call it, there seems to be, and Panache said this yesterday, and that's what brought it up again, that I like the idea that I heard from Eckhart Tolle, that he was talking about wisdom being the balance between chaos and order. So, as long as you're experiencing the physical, there has to be a balance between chaos and order. And most of what I hear from those that are, how do I explain this? There's a distinct dislike of order for many people, and they want all the freedom in the world, and we all want that. We all want to be as free as we can be. But in order to live together as physical beings, there has to be some order. And someone has to be responsible for the order when there is chaos. And what I hear a lot of people saying, no, you don't have to worry about that. Just let everything be what it is. And I struggle with, are we really at a level of consciousness as a human race to just get rid of all those laws, get rid of all the control, and just let everybody be whatever they want to be? I don't think so. So I deal with that because my background has been one of basically order. I was a leader of management, an officer in the military. So my job was to keep the order. That was my job. And for many years. And so I believe there's a necessary, that's why we have government. Because they provide a sense of order for us to express the true self that we are. But they hopefully allow us to have all the freedom we want, and enough freedom to grow, but not enough freedom to cause others pain and misery or loss of life. And so that balance between the two. So I think they're talking about that, at least to me, that as we move forward, there still has to be order. For example, parents will not stop disciplining their children because, we don't have to worry about order anymore, because I really don't like disciplining my children because it makes them sad. But another aspect is, well, if we don't discipline, we're going to not like them because we're not going to like what they do. So we have to give some form of order even in the family. And if the family is a building block of society, then the levels of growth government we have also has to provide a certain level of order for the society they're responsible for. So that's what I got out of all this, that we may move to the next level or across the border, but in order to do so, we have to open up our minds and be willing to face a new reality which may be very different from our past. That's
think
what I'm dealing with.
That's the point, really. I mean, that's a great example because I've always been a control freak. I want my house in order. I want the beds made. I mean, and being a teacher, you want order in the classroom. You don't want them all going crazy. You got 30 bodies there to handle. What I think this is asking us is to recognize the way, reckon to all of our residual ideas. It's like the music, John Lennon's song Imagine. Now that's very different than the way we live. I think this is asking us to be open to the possibility that we don't need to control everything. But right now, I like it to be orderly. That's part of my residual idea. And that may be what's standing in the way. I don't know, because he says chaos is coming. So that the earlier paragraph. But and I think that's part of what the guys are saying when he says face yourself. Look at what you're attached to. John, I think you're next.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness, what a lovely day we're having here today. I just like to, I wanted to initially to put my my 5 eggs in, or 2 eggs into, you know, coming out of the pit of ignorance, like I think it was Patricia was talking about, levels of consciousness. It's not a sin to be ignorant, you know. Like 10 years ago, you were doing quite okay then, you know, and was doing okay now, but we're just growing in our consciousness, you know. So, but I think it's necessary to recognize, you know, hey, you know, if there's any problems going on, it's the only sin, quote, is ignorance, you know, and it's not a sin, you know. So we're just working our way through this thing, and so coming out of that pit of ignorance, like Richard was saying, if there is a way to do it, is to model the Creator that did create us, and the power that runs us, that ran us through all its forms, with an objective consciousness. There's nothing that an electron needs to do, how to fly around the proton or the minerals or the vegetables don't have a problem. You know, they're just guided. They just do what they're supposed to do, and the animals do, until we get to the subjective consciousness, which appears in man, and that is where it really calls for it. And if we want to be lawful, to use the methods of the Creator, which the only definition is of a creator is, in my opinion, is it's a lawful expression. It's law in manifestation. That is the prime creator. So if we're going to do anything, we might as well model it and do our best at that. So one of the things that we can do with that, and given this subjective consciousness, is the power to choose. We can choose what's going along. So, you know, that's no form of life was given this. No form of life was given. This is ours. This is ours to just take a hang on, take it to the borderland, you know, and learn from what we've quote mistakes, you know, which are not really mistakes, but that we now bear in its consciousness is itself revolving through us. So there's a great deal of hope here, and especially with this these ideas I'm hearing today, because one of the biggest in that last sentence we heard, and the main thing I wanted to hear is that hasn't been mentioned, and I love the things that have been mentioned because everybody brings a nuance. When we realize, oh my God, we've got to the top of the pile, us humans, how great we are. And now that it's going to be destroyed by death, that's an almighty fear that's driving, you know. It has to be dealt with, you know. Like, and it's okay to deal with the things that's facing us, that happened 10 years ago. But for the ultimate things, we got to face our death and possible annihilation. What? What's beyond death? Who knows? Takes great faith and patience to get to just bear the responsibility, that everything has brought us this far. It's going to be okay after this. We have been brought here. We are here. And it's okay. The next step is going to be quite okay too, whatever it is. It's easy to say, but the fear that drove us to the top of the pile is self-preservation. And to lose that is really hardwired into us, and so it's unconscious. It's in every cell. It wants to survive. So there we go. That's John.
Yeah, just hardwired in. But I have to tell you, I got a really sweet feeling when you were talking. And I imagine all the little bunnies that run around the yard. I have a lot of wildlife here. And imagine somebody one of the bunnies trying to organize them all. They were not going to be organized. Because what we think, yeah, you're right. And we do have to face that ultimate fear that we have hardwired in. So, Mendigo.
I love this. And for me, I'm getting to surrender to whatever is going on. Even if I don't like it, to just surrender to it and be with it 100%. And tell it I don't like it. Just be honest or whatever. So I love that because it just opens the door.
It does. When you let the resistance go. Thank you, William.
I just like it that I'm not in charge. And the statement that the ego is a false sense of power and survival. And all the stories are about trying to change, control, harmonize, repair, do whatever. It's all part of the rules of the form. And in the formless, it's predetermined. I just like it's all taken care of. I'm not in charge. No one is. And so there is that talk about surrender. It is just the way it is. That to me is surrender. And then there's so many ways that we can manage when we're in the form of life. We can learn how to treat, relate, harmonize. We always are getting out of harmony. We have to find a way to get back into harmony because that seems to run much more smoothly. So we can be more the love that we all are. But in a moment, that's all we are, just oneness. And so I just, all the machinations, that's the world we play in, but that's not who we are.
Thank you. Patricia.
Pardon me. I took a course on death and dying from the Insight Meditation Center in California. And one of the biggest things that they kept repeating is like, everything is impermanent. Nothing is stable. Everything is impermanent. And it's all a process of getting ready to leave what we have been attached to. And I've given that a lot of thought and letting go of that, you know. And one of the things that the attachment is that I won't let go of is love. How much I love my daughter, how much I love some of my friends, how much that love is a thing that is the thread for us all. And that doesn't go away, and that's not going to die. Love doesn't die. And it was such an important reminder of how it's like recognizing when I'm attached to something, whether it's wanting the weather to get warmer here in Mexico, because it's winter here, and we have no heat because we don't need it because it gets hot. Mexicans just layer, and there's an old Mexican sayer, if you're cold, keep moving and clean your house. I think that's a pretty good one. So, so it's a movement, that continual movement into, oh, kind of acceptance is the answer to moving toward impermanence. I accept what is, let it go. Or surrender, as Nabego was saying, let it go. Because I don't know. My favorite phrase, I don't know.
That's become my favorite too, especially when my husband asks me questions. I don't know. We haven't heard from Josephine or Rick. Would either of you like to join in before we close? I see Josephine trying to unmute. Oh. She can't unmute. Can you unmute her, Rana?
I'm sending her a signal. Let's see. I can't unmute, but I can send you that. Can you hit that little button? I'm sorry, I can't get it to work.
Well, we love you. We would love to hear your voice. If you get it working, let us know. Rick, anything? Not today. Okay. Love you. Let's see what time it is. We have a few minutes. I'll read the next paragraph. Maybe we'll get so I can tell Amy we did more than 2 pages. Okay, where are we? Page 107, second paragraph. Now, you are forgetting an idea of self. You are releasing what was not you, and you are saying yes to what truly is. That's what all of you have been saying. When we teach through Paul, we have requirements for him as well, and he is as you at this juncture of change. So we will say to him, you must also say yes with the heart, with the soul, and in your expression. Each of you says yes at the level that you come to, that you can come to. And when we say this now, we are saying it not only to you who are before us, but you who hear these words in another time, in another space, and in another reality. We are accepting all of you across this border. We are saying yes to you each, and we welcome you each on the other side. The small self's will, which has undergone change through this expression. The idea of self, which has been altered through this encounter, is present now as well. And as you agree, say yes to what is before you, you will be moved in vibration to the next level. We invite you to say this now after us. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am in the upper room. I have come. I have come. I have come. It will be so. Behold, I make all things new. God is, God is, God is. And when we sing and make this sound, the sound will echo through the pages of this text, through the room we sit in, and throughout time. You may remain silent. Let this wash through you as a being of light, as your true being of light is reclaimed and altered at this crossing. On the count of 3, Paul. Be lifted as one and know the true self as expressed in the form you have taken. We say this now. Everything is changed. Everything is new. It will be so. God is, God is, God is. Stop now, please. This always gives me a chuckle. Period, period, period. Yes, this is in the text. Indigo. Your hand is raised.
I just got this direction that whatever we're experiencing, if it's discomfort or whatever it is, that just to let it be. Whatever it is, just to let it be, and that it's here for us. That everything is here for us, no matter what's happening.
Yeah, I just love that they said, just forget your idea of self. It's like, I just love William's metaphors. Yeah, you're not in a jalopy and you're not aspiring for a Ferrari. Who knows? It could be something that floats through the air and has wings, or it could have no wheels at all. We just don't know. But we say yes to all the potentiality that's there for us. And it's just back to remembering the beauty of who we are and how we are so loved. Patricia, would you close this out? We've got a few more minutes, so go. You're muted. You remuted. There you go.
Okay. Okay, now? What I was thinking is that there is, not what I was thinking, really what I'm feeling, is that every moment is new because the last moment has left us.
Yes.
So it's right now, it's right now, it's right now. A new moment. Thank you.
Any last comments from anyone?
I just unmuted, folks. I am not at home. I have been away because of the snowstorm, staying with friends in Virginia. And the internet is constantly being interrupted. They're doing a lot of work there. So I haven't been able to really access many of the meetings. And so when I am here and able to tune in, I'm grateful. So just as we all say to one another, I extend my love and gratitude just for being able to be with you. And thank you so much.